Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Tuesday, and all of our guests today are brought to you by our friends at Pastime Sports and Games. Just before we get to Ian Furness, KGR Sports Radio, Delaney's OK Tire and Langley inbox. I'm along the same lines as Ryan. Very unusual situation. This is from White Rock, Troy. I think this is more what I was saying, but he's giving you credit for some reason. Troy, come on.
Come on, Troy.
I don't think I've ever heard of it in 40-plus years of watching hockey where a player takes a reset. That is very unusual. That's me. That's definitely me.
I never heard
It's an unusual situation, and the Canucks maybe aren't handling it all that well. I get it. I'm back in the Canucks here.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen very often.
No, you just said they're not handling it really well. Come on.
And we'll set up our poll question in the next segment, but you also vouched for Pettersson on the poll. You're a changed man today.
Oh, wow.
I am.
In a positive way, by the way.
Positivity pills taken today.
I think that was me. I'm looking at it closely here. We're joined now by Ian Furness, KGR Sports Radio, and the Kraken Hockey Network. Seahawks over the Jets, 26-21 on the weekend. So you're riveted listening to this. How are you, sir?
Always riveted. I'm good. How are you guys?
Lovely.
Very good. Let's talk some. Just before we get to talk some football, wouldn't you love to have the soap opera down in Seattle with the Kraken that we've got up here with the Canucks? All due respect to everybody involved in this situation.
What's your soap opera right now? Because I can't keep track of them. It feels like there's a new one every day.
Well, the whole JT Miller absence, there's that.
Yeah, we don't know.
Great on the road, not so great at home. Pardon me?
We don't know why.
No,
we don't know why
no.
he's out, right?
No.
Okay.
But as often the case, believe it or not, on talk radio / a show like this, there's some speculation out there. I'm sure you're familiar with it.
That never happens. Do you want to get into the Kraken right now? Because we have a little drama.
Go.
We got some drama.
Hit me.
I know Rick loves this. By the way, I got nothing on what you sent me the other day, buddy.
Okay.
But this is the morning skate just finished in Carolina for the first game of a 4-game swing. The Kraken are going to be without Riker Evans tonight. He got banged up the other day. We're worried about his shoulder. That wasn't a surprise. That's not the drama. The drama is this. Dan Bilesman has not messed around this season. If you're not performing, and sometimes even doesn't matter what the numbers look like, the underlying numbers, if you're not performing and the score sheets doesn't reflect it, you might sit. We saw that with last year's All-Star Oliver Bjorkstrand earlier. Ty Cartier was kind of collateral damage because they weren't going to sit two veterans that night, but they sat him. They sat Shane Wright for 3 games. By the way, in the three games since Shane Wright's come back after being a healthy scratch, he's got 5 points on a couple goals, 3 goals and 2 assists. So that worked for him. Worked for Oliver. He's played well. Your friend Daniel Sprong is a healthy scratch again tonight. But the big one is Andre Burakovsky is scratched tonight.
Oh,
A healthy scratch for the Seattle Kraken tonight in Carolina. That's one that we've all been kind of waiting to see. Like how it's one thing to scratch a Bjorkstrand. That was kind of got some guys. One thing to scratch a Shane Wright. He's 20 years old, or a Ty Cartier. Andre Burakovsky is a healthy scratch tonight.
wow.
Not bad. Okay.
Not bad.
Yeah, there's some controversy there.
Not Vancouver.
Not Vancouver controversy,
No.
but I'm telling you that those of us that actually cover the team, and that one's a good one. That's juicy for you guys.
9 points in 25 games.
Yeah.
1 goal in 25 games.
One goal, and the one goal came off his backside, by the way. Like, he didn't snipe it by any means. I mean, it's, sometimes you get the greasy one and then it opens the floodgates, right? That didn't happen.
We'll stick with the Kraken and get to the Seahawks in a bit, but what do you make of all the fuss being made over Joey Daccord? He's American, he's Canadian, he's Swiss when it comes to the Four Nations event.
Is he Swiss or Finnish? I forget which the third one.
Swiss.
It's
Swiss.
Yeah, it is Swiss. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe he's Finnish too. I don't know.
Yeah, we were talking about. Is there a difference? Let's. We were talking about this internally a little while ago, like probably a few weeks ago. I think it became a big thing on the 32 Thoughts podcast or something. But like everyone assumed Joey was American, because he's from Boston, and played American college hockey. Wasn't part of the CHL or anything like that. And then a little digging, and we found out a few weeks ago we got the duel at least with Canadian alternative, and we all know that Canada doesn't have goalies right now. Right? Yeah. And I say this honest. I'm going to say this with due respect to the ongoing proceedings and what may have allegedly happened. Carter Hart was probably going to be that guy, right, on the upcome over the last few years. With him out of the mix, Canadian goaltending is at an all-time low, and the Americans have at least 3 guys probably ahead of him. So I don't know. We see this in soccer all the time. If I'm Team Canada, I'm all over Joey Daccord right now. You want him on your team. You want him on your hockey team for sure.
All right, let's go to the Seahawks. Ian, defensive tackle Leonard Williams. I wish someday I could move as fast as he did on that 92-yard touchdown.
All you have to do is gain 150 pounds.
17 miles an hour. Look at this.
Yeah. What is that in clicks, by the way, 17 miles an hour? What is that? How fast is that up north of the border?
Just under 30.
Yeah, he was flying. Oh. he was humming along. Man, he has been a revelation. When he was acquired last year, we talked about it a year ago, guys. There were people here that were upset. This is our, we have Seahawks. You have Canucks drama and soap operas. We have Seahawks soap operas. All 22 guys and all the nerds that think they know the game and start losing their mind over things. And Leonard Williams this, and why would you? They gave up a high draft pick because it was a salary cap situation that they had to maneuver around that, not just last year but this year as well. And so maybe the compensation wasn't what they wanted, but they also had full intentions to re-sign him long term, which they did. They loved the player. And they loved him under the Pete Carroll defense, by the way. But Mike McDonald has a similarity to Pete Carroll, I believe, in that he's able to take players that don't maybe fit in the box. Like when you think of, like Rick, you kind of mentioned defensive tackle, they might list him as a defensive end. They've used him as an outside linebacker in terms of pass rush situations. He's got such a big frame. It's a different type of frame than is the norm. A lot of times you want those guys to be like 6'3", 6'4", and 320 pounds or what have you, or maybe a little sleeker build and a little quicker off the hoof. But he doesn't fit that. But they found a way to use him. And Mike McDonald, much like Pete Carroll did back in the day with players that kind of had great talent but didn't fit the specs of like 6'4", 6'3", whatever it might be. They found a way to use him. He's been impactful all year. He's been impactful the last 2 weeks. And honestly, I don't know if I'd go as far as to say he saved the season, but that pick six, they could have gone up 28-6 or whatever it would have been. That might have been ball game right there. Yep. It was a massive play by him.
And they didn't allow any points the rest of the way. I got to ask you this about Russell Wilson, because we've all ripped Russell on this show, including you, Ian. But he's doing some fine work in Seattle, 5-1, 414. In Pittsburgh, he's doing some fine work there. He's 5-1 since taking over, 414 yards over the weekend. What's going on here?
What's going on with Donnie? Donnie looks like he's about ready to lose.
No, I've been fighting a cold for 2 weeks. I gave it to Dolly.
Now I got it. Now we're both fighting it. But who's not fighting it? It's Russell Wilson. What's going on here?
Russell Wilson. Yeah, good guy, right? Good guy, Russell Wilson.
Good guy.
Really,
good guy.
Yeah, he's playing for a contract. Rick, he's playing for a contract. What do you want from me? I think what you found is a good fit for him. He's not making $50 million from the Steelers. He's making high 30s or 40s from the Broncos, who are paying him. He's making league minimum there. Came in there with not a lot of pressure. And from my understanding, I've got a couple of buddies that work in Pittsburgh and have been there for a long time. Initially, we saw the same old Russell act for a while. The entourage is on the field hanging around during practices and stuff. And that stuff doesn't fly in Pittsburgh, man. Mike Tomlin, that doesn't fly. You buy in or you're out. And right now he's buying in. There's never been a question of his talent. And I always kind of didn't like it when people were saying, he's lost a step, he's not as fast. He was never sprinter speed, but he was built in a way that he was elusive. He could outrun a lot of guys, and he was fast enough, and he was football fast enough. You've seen that on display. Not many guys in the league, maybe Matthew Stafford, I'm just trying to think, Allen perhaps, throw a better deep ball than him. He's just playing at a high level right now, and it's an offense that fits him. They want to run the ball first, and they want to run the ball second, and then they want to take a shot down the field. And that's what they're doing. It fits him like a glove. Now, Is it sustainable? We'll see, because the next step in the process is wherever it ends for Pittsburgh this year, what do they do with Russ next year? The problem isn't with Russ on the field a lot of times. The problem is when Team Russ decides what they want to, what they want on the back end. And I will expect him to want big bucks again. And Pittsburgh sometimes won't play that game unless they feel like they've really found the quarterback. But you cannot deny the production right now. He looks like Russ from a few years ago for sure.
What's 50 kilometers an hour in miles? So how dare you put us on the spot there with the conversion?
Well, is it 60, 100? 60 miles an hour is 100 clicks, isn't that right?
No, I'm asking you. You got to don't ask us. We're not that smart. You put us on the spot.
In my car, I got a little speedometer thing. So if I do ever, if I'm allowed to cross the border ever again, then I can just kind of figure it out from there. All I know is I can pretty much figure out. My mom from Saskatchewan taught us early that when you go to Celsius, so it's double the number and add 30.
Yes.
Right? For Celsius to Fahrenheit, roughly within a few degrees, right? So, like today, let's see, what is it for you guys there today in the coop? What is it up there?
This is the low point of the show right here.
No, it isn't. I'm gonna do some math. I'm doing radio and TV. Okay. Right now where I sit, it's 32 degrees. Mm-hmm. So, right? So if what would that be? That would be like 2 degrees, right? 1 degree up there.
Zero.
Or zero? Oh, yeah, double the number and add 30. Well, roughly. 1. It'd be 1.
It's rough.
Double. 1 plus 1 is 2. Add 30. Donnie, it's 1 degrees up there.
Oh, that's way too much for us, man. We can't handle that. Get out of here. We're over time.
I went to Wazoo, man. I didn't take math. So don't worry about that. I counted in 6 packs.
At least you went to college.
We'll call it that, I guess. See you, boys.
Thanks, Ian.